Hi, folks. Welcome to Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark. I'm your co host, Mark, and this is my co host, Harry.
Hello.
We are absolutely two idiots who
Mm.
absolutely like talking about things that we have no idea what we're talking about. But you know what? This segment of the show is my favorite because I know what I'm talking about. What was your vacation and
Oh
before and after
man.
weeks like?
All right. Well, my vacation was spent at home. I, it wasn't. So I went to two places. Uh, I went to Cupertino. There's a couple of Japanese markets down there.
Mm,
I ate some takoyaki or what is it? Takoyaki. Oh shit, I can't even say it.
takoyaki,
Yep, there you go. Takoyaki.
octopus balls.
Yes, and fuck, they're delicious. So went down
I
there.
have yet to have one that
Um,
does not make me gag.
mm, it varies. Okay, so the first time I've ever had them was on my trip to LA, this past year, and it was real. They like so it was like the octopus balls, and then they just covered it with hella shit, Parmesan
Yep,
cheese and like sauce, and oh man, it was I was like holy fuck, it definitely like
too
worth.
much.
No. It was like as a first time eating it,
Oh,
perfect. I knew like okay, this is gonna like hit me hard, but it's so worth it. So that was great. But the following times I've had it, so I've had it where I went this past week over in Cupertino, down south from us. Um, and it's not as good. I'll say that for sure,
okay.
but it was still good. Um,
Still damn good.
yeah, and then so that was about like a few months ago that I tried it. And then this past week I went again because it's one of the few Japanese markets in the whole Bay Area. So we went there.
I gotta check that shit out now.
Yeah, it's a really nice Japanese market. So went there, checked it out, bought a few things. And I had my takoyakis, and it was so good. And then later on in the week, I went to Japantown in San Francisco,
Hmm.
and they just so I went there maybe like again like maybe in December I went, and this booth was not open, but I as soon as I saw it when we got there last week, I realized, oh fuck, this is what they're opening up to takoyaki stand. So yeah, I was
Takoyaki.
like, dude, like so I got some, and they weren't the greatest. They were not compared to what I had in LA, but it was
Mm.
still good. It was still good. Didn't have too many options. So I just ordered the basic. Next time I go, I'll definitely try a different one, but the basic was still good. It was still your octopus ball. And
Octobolopus.
exactly. And
You
so those
skipped
huh?
last Thursday's podcast for balls of fried octopus.
No, I did
You
not.
son of a bit. Just kidding.
um yeah, so those are the two places I went to. There was a third place I was planning to go, which is actually a drive up the coast,
Ooh.
towards Crescent City. Problem is, gas is stupid expensive, so I was like, you know what? I think we drove around enough. So we
You got to
halt.
quarter Crescent City before you got to Crescent City.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's a shame.
we were gonna postpone that drive for I don't know my next vacation or something. Um,
Until gas is not expensive.
Yeah. So then that was my vacation week. I didn't stream, I didn't play, I didn't do podcasts. I just sat and did nothing and enjoyed myself. Um and then one thing happened my vacation week that I did want to bring up. Um
Harry, whoa, hold on.
oh,
What is said here cannot be unsaid once it's posted.
you're
If
right.
you don't want to say it, pal,
Mm-mm. I'm going to say it, because it was like I just got to tell you. Okay.
Oh
So,
God.
my lovely wife ordered something online, and then she realized that there was a sale the next day. So I told her, order your
Oh.
stuff again. We'll return the stuff that you ordered last on the last shipment. Like, okay, cool.
Okay.
So we did that, and we're like, oh, let's go return it, and it's gonna be at the mall. So we're like, okay, cool. So we go to the mall to return these items. We just want the money back of the non-discounted items.
Hmm.
Um, so we get to the mall, we go to the store, we get in line, and then from what we gathered is the store manager pops up behind us and says, "Do you have a question?" And we're like, "No, we're just gonna return these items." And they're like, "Oh." And the he says so basically he doesn't acknowledge me at all, even though I'm standing right next to Livy. And he talks to her and he's saying, "Oh, well, what you can do is you can return it yourselves through the post office." And and Livy was like, "Oh, well, you know, I just want to return it here." He's like, "No, it's like we can give you," and he's like, "We'll give you the packaging, we'll give you the return label, and you can just return it through the post office." We're like,
Okay.
okay. And we're like, and Livy's kind of like, okay, well, the other
What
thing
the
is
fuck
that,
is going on?
yeah, the other thing is that, um, it's a little complicated because it's two different orders, and we have to, you know what I mean? It wasn't as simple as I'm returning these items. It was like two different orders and stuff like that. And he was like, "Oh, that's fine. You just put it in there and they'll return it." And she's like, "Oh no, I'm okay with like I'm not okay with that." I was like, "It's like yeah, like I stepped down. I was like, we probably need." And he so he started walking to get the packaging, and he was just trying to give us one. I was like, "Well, like we'd feel a lot better if we got two." He's like, "Okay, I could do that," and he gave us two. And so he's kind of like, "Yeah, just put it in the post office and you'll be done." Like, okay. And as we're walking back, we're kind of like, "Dude, what the
What the
fuck
fuck
just
is going
happened?"
on?
Yeah, so like we got to the car and we put the stuff in the bags and everything, and basically Livy checked and all the post offices were closed because it was basically past 5. And we're like, "Dude, what the fuck?" Like,
This is weird.
yeah, we're like, "Dude, this guy's just like forcing us to do his job and not like." You know what I mean? Like, and like now we have to wait till tomorrow to go to the post office. And I was just like, oh man. And then we're and the mall has this like Mongolian noodle place that
Yeah, I know the spot.
yeah, the Sungate barbecue, whatever. So
Yeah.
she really likes that place. She loves her noodles. And so the plan was to return those items and go get noodles. And it's like, well, now we have to like first we thought, okay, we have to go to the post office, drop these off, and then we have to come back and get noodles. Like, this is bullshit. But then post office is closed, and we're like, okay, we can do the noodles, but then like we still have to go to the post office tomorrow, which was not in our schedule. We didn't want that. Like, we just wanted to return it and get our money, right?
Yeah. Like,
So
let's get the fuck out of here. Let's do our thing and fuck off.
so I don't. I've learned to live with Livy. I shut the hell up, and I don't do anything that would probably get like embarrass Livy in front of other people because I tend to do that sometimes.
I'll let you know when I master that with
Yeah.
my lady.
So obviously, I told Livy like, look, I can go back and I can tear that fucking manager a new one, but I need to get the okay from you. I didn't want to do it in
Right.
front of you and in front of everybody because I didn't want to like put you in a spot where you know what I mean, like that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
super uncomfortable. So she was hesitant. She's like, I don't know, like I'm never gonna be able to go back to that store if it goes really bad. I'm like, yeah, there is that risk. So and that's what I told her, like, I just need the okay from you. I need the okay for me to go back and do the returns. And so Livy said, okay, go for it. So I take the items and I head back. And on my walk over there, I was like, dude, I'm about to oof.
Lay
I'll,
into you.
yeah, I'm about to this guy is gonna not be okay for a while.
Gonna have a new asshole after
Yeah.
I'm done with him.
So I walk into the store and I start looking for I'm walking towards the cash register and I start looking for him. And as I get pretty close to the cash register, I see the manager, what I presume is the manager, like towards the other side of the cash register. And I was like, oh, cool. I start walking towards him, and the cashier basically walks in front of me. Like, she walks like in front of me, but heading towards the cash register. And she's saying, oh, I can help you over here. And I'm like, oh, no, no, no. I want him to help me. I pointed and I was like, I want him to help me. And she's
I
like,
want
yeah.
him.
And he's like, oh, okay. And he walks up to me. He's like, oh, how can I help you? I was like, hey, you just told me to deliver this to the post office. They're closed. I want to return them. So let me back up a little bit to when I was talking to Livy. I said, look, Livy, I'll be nice at first. But if I get any sass, any talk back from them, I will go off. And she said, that's fine. I said, okay. So then going back.
Just for reference, like folks, I've never seen Harry like aggro mad. Ever.
Dude, this is the closest. And so I said, and when I said that to him, he said, oh, she can help you. And I looked over at her and I was like, what? Like, oh yeah, she can help you with that. And I was like, and he turned away and walked away. And I was like, okay, so, and in my head, I'm like, it was that easy. So then why the fuck did this fool spend like 5 minutes convincing us to take it to the post office?
Oh man.
And so
Get him,
I was
Harry.
like, fine. So I turned, he walked away, didn't want to deal with me. All right. I turned around. And then by the time I get to the cash register, another pair of customers already walked in front of me. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I'm in line, and these pair of customers are young teenage girls. So they are chatting with the cashier, with each other. I'm sitting there waiting to get help for like 15, 20 minutes. So for 15, 20 minutes, I'm sitting there waiting to get helped.
Oh.
And every like 3 minutes or so, I would look over at the manager, or this, what I presume is the manager. I look over at him, and he would not look me in the eyes. He would like every time I would look over, he would like start looking somewhere else or start working with something or whatever. But I was looking at him and I was just thinking, so what you're doing right now is more important than helping me out while your cashier's obviously busy dealing with these customers.
Whatever, yeah.
All right. And that was going through my head. So then, I would look at him, and wait and wait and wait. And look at him. He's making sure we do not lock eyes. And then I was like, okay, cool. And again, this was about like 15, 20 minutes. And so I'm chilling there. And then, this whole time, the cashier was super nice. She was, she would be like, "Oh, thank you for waiting.
Yeah.
Thank you for being patient." I'm like, yeah, no problem. I had no anger, no
No ill
malcontent,
will.
no ill will towards the cashier. And then finally, the other customers leave. I get helped, and I come up and I kind of explain to her, like, okay, I got it. And she's like, oh, I kind of need the He asked for some information. I asked Livy to screenshot it and send me text message and stuff like that. So I get that going for her, and then so she had to like open the bags that we basically got ready to deliver. So she had to open those bags, and she was having a tough time with it, right? And so she did one, and she was kind of having an issue with it, and she kind of got it, and then she got one going, and then she was getting the other one ready, and she just like having an issue with it, and I can already tell that she was feeling uncomfortable, because she knew that I wasn't happy with that one person,
Oh yeah,
you know.
seems like it.
Yeah, and while she's trying to open the bag, she like puts it down on the table. She like puts on her microphone, like because they have like a little earpiece and it has like a microphone. Um, and she like says like, "Hey, can you just come over here and deal with this yourself?" And then the dude that I was that was quote unquote helped me walked away. Like, no, it's super easy. See the tags right here. You just scan it there, and then drops, and he just walks away.
It's super easy. Just do this
Yeah, and then
instead of
yeah,
instead of. Oh my god. Okay.
and he just walks away and goes towards the front of the store. And I'm just like looking at him, and she looks like great, like throw me under the bus here, asshole. And I'm like, and I'm just there like waiting, like to get help, or you know what I mean, like just waiting for this to get done. And so while
Hmm.
she's like doing that, I asked the cashier, "Hey, is that your manager?" She says, "Yes." And I'm like, "What's his name?" She says, "Henry." I'm like, "Got it." So finally confirm this is the store manager. I finally confirm their name. I'm like, okay, cool. Henry it is. And so she finally gets everything done. And she's like, okay, all done. I'm like, that's it? She said, yeah. I'm like, wow, that's super easy. Thank you. And I leave.
Oh my god.
Right. And
Uh-huh.
as I leave, I realize that this guy's just standing in the front of the store, greeting customers into the store. So that's more important than helping someone that you've told to go deliver stuff to the post office.
It's busybody
That's
work. We used to do that all the time in the restaurant business.
yeah.
I wouldn't do that to you though, Harry.
Yeah.
You
And
have to.
so yeah, as I'm walking out, this dude's in front of me, and I'm looking at his head where his eyeballs are at, and he's making sure he's not doing that to me, and he walks out of the way instead of like, "Hey man, have a good day," or because I saw him like greeting guests in, and he was waving goodbye to people leaving. But to me, no, nah, he didn't do that to me. He just went to the other side of the store.
Bitch.
Yeah, and I left. I was like, wow, like I,
Quite an adventure.
what I expected was, hey, we're sorry. Sorry that let me help you out. Let me return these for you. Sorry for the inconvenience, right?
Yeah.
The second thing I expected was some little sass, right? A little talk back or whatever, and I was ready to go off on them.
Nope. Just
I
pure submission.
Yeah, like didn't want to deal with me at all. Like
Yeah.
scared. Straight up scared. And I and I and I didn't notice it when Livy was there, but she did. She's like, I noticed he didn't want to talk to you at all. He only directed all the conversation to me and not to you.
Do you want me to go in to that store and do the same thing?
Oh man, that would be. And just wait for like, hey, is Henry working today? Oh yeah, I want you to help me.
Yeah. No, just go up to the girl and be like, "Hey, is Henry there?" "Yeah, no, we're old prison buddies. I just need to ask him for some change. Just owes me a favor,
Oh
you know.
dude,
I killed someone in prison so that he wouldn't have to gawk someone."
yeah, dude. Yeah, it was it was an experience. I didn't like. I think we felt like we had a victory. I just didn't feel satisfied. I was like, man, that guy just, it's just wow. You would stoop down.
That's
You stoop down
that's
to
a situation like that. Yeah.
you stoop down to the level and threw your cashier under the bus because I was no because of that earpiece. I'm sure he was telling her like, "Hey, do this, do that, blah blah blah," and like, you know, and
If it
obviously I
was like if it was like, "Hey, I'm like a lowly employee and I don't know how to do it and
mm,
like I fucked up,"
mm,
I would understand. I'd be like, I'm just gonna drop all of it. I'd be like, okay, we did some extra shit. I didn't want to do that, but like the kid didn't know any better. He's just a kid, right?
yeah,
Or like he's just you know what? Fuck it. Even if it wasn't a kid, if it was like a 60-year-old fucking 2 days away from retiring, I've been doing this for a while kind of thing. But he
right,
was like a basic ass employee
yep,
and just didn't know and fucked up. I'd be like, hey pal, it's okay. And I'd walk out and I'd stew and then I'd be done. But
yep,
like the moment you said manager, I was just like, mm,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I felt the same way, dude. And
mm,
I was like, wow, manager, a store manager,
menagere,
fucking just threw their employee in front of a disgruntled customer.
a barrel-chested disgruntled customer,
Yeah,
right?
and the thing is, I I was trying to be as nice as possible to the cashier to
Oh
show
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
I'm not upset at you. I'm
Yeah,
upset
it's
at
not like
that
a
guy over
blind
there.
rage thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure he told her cuz remember, she was the same cashier that tried to help me first. And I said, "No, I want him to help me." And she was there when the manager handed us the packaging stuff. So she knew.
Mhm.
After that, I came back and I was not happy and I was looking for that fucker. And she knew that he was trying to avoid me at all costs.
Yeah.
And it's like that's why like I figured like she's probably like super nervous and like in a really awkward situation knowing fuck
Yeah.
this guy's pissed.
And this guy's over me and just gave me fucking the hard shit.
Yeah.
God, I fucking hate shit like that. I don't have like, unless you're being a shithead as an employee, I
Yeah.
typically don't have a problem with you. Like, they tell you to do that, right? Hey, just pass it upward to a manager if you have any
Yeah.
like inconvenience. But like, it doesn't go the other way around.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
It
It
doesn't.
should never
And
do
it's
that.
like, I get it. Like, we're all fucking 20 somethings or 30. Oh, yeah, being a leader is important. But like, that's just like manager code. I
Yep.
was I've never like been officially a manager, but I have had to deal with like scheduling people, doing like not conflict resolution, but telling people to fuck off if like they fuck with other coworkers. But that's basically what I do, and it's not like you go to. It's not like I would take one of my other servers who like I would be managing at the time and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, I'm not happy with like how this is going. You deal with it. Like, we would all be like, "Oh, fuck, I don't wanna deal with this table. Can you please, like, just take the food over there and I'll check on them later," or, like, yada yada, but it would
Yeah.
never be like, "This person is being like, this person is disgruntled or angry, you deal with it, and you're under me, and I have
Yeah.
power, so you can't say no to me technically." I
Mm-hmm.
fucking hate that.
Yeah. So that's what happened. And yeah, I like again, I feel like I got a victory, but I also didn't feel 100% satisfied. You know what I
I
mean?
Whenever anyone gets into a conflict, I don't think you're ever gonna get some kind of closure on it. It's never gonna be like that scene from like Pretty Woman or fucking Legally Blonde. No, Legally Blonde,
Mm,
when she's in the fucking store and that one pretty bitch is like, "Oh, let's take the tag off. This trash will never know." and it's this like rinky-dink dress, and she's like, "Oh, it's something something Gucciani Morani Visancho, da 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 da."
Mhm.
She's like, "Oh, with the something something lapel." She's like, "Yes, it's one of a kind." And she like goes up and is like, "Ah, that's not true because this kind of stitching can't work on it. So you don't know what you're saying. So you lied, and I saw you pull off the tag. You're trash."
Mhm.
No one ever gets that moment, ever,
Right.
except maybe the one dude who said, "I'm prepared to wait till hell freezes over," when he was arguing with the fucking Russian ambassador for the Cuban Missile Crisis. Maybe that fucking guy, but that's about it.
Right.
I get you. It always feels like a Pyrrhic victory, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I got to fucking lay out," not necessarily in like a surface interested guy, but like I got to lay this fucking person out, and I got to plead my case, but it like they just didn't accept how wrong they were.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly it.
yeah. I hear you. I fucking hear you. I get it. You just you just want them to know that they're wrong. You want it to be like a fucking a shonen where it's like there's that whelp villain, that like bitchy little puppy dog villain. Who's the green one who holds his breath and time freezes from the Ginyu Force
Oh,
from
oh
Dragon Ball Z?
fuck yeah.
You want every person you get into an argue with to be him. And it's like you fucking go all Vegeta mode and he just like he has to hold his breath and run away for the situation to like be
Yeah.
okay, right? That's what you want.
Mhm.
Nah,
Mhm.
sad.
Yeah, sadly no. Oh well. But yeah, that happened, and I just wanted to rant about it and tell you about it.
Harry,
Yeah.
this is a safe place, and I know it's a safe place because only 2 or 3 people hear it. You can say what you need.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
understand, brother?
I do understand.
Good. Good. Good.
Good.
Good. All right, folks. Welcome to Good with Good and Good. Here, we talk about what's good because we're two people who are good who don't know that we're good. Good. Eh,
Yeah.
itching. Sorry, I'm laying down. I,
Mhm.
I have zero mobility. Anyway, Harry,
Yes.
is there anything else in your week that you would like to discuss?
No, I would like to hear about your week though.
My fucking week. My fucking week. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. I'm upset.
Ooh.
First and foremost, I have been upset for about a week and a half.
Oh. Okay.
So, as everyone who listens to this podcast knows, in the early 2010s, Neil Blomkamp, fresh from his success of making District 9 and Elysium,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
think Chappie came out around this time too, had some concept art drawn up for Alien 5, or what would canonically be like Alien 3. You know how they did
Mhm.
Terminator Dark Fate, and that was like the real Terminator 3. I'm literally doing air quotes while I'm saying that.
Mhm.
Because there was like the 2003 movie Rise of the Machines, and
Yes.
then a whole bunch of shit in between, and then they had to reboot the franchise, and they did a requel
Yep.
where they have your original cast. They had Linda Hamilton, and they CGI'd what's his name's face. Um, so they requelled Terminator 3 into Dark Fate, and that movie was shit. But besides the fucking point, this movie wanted to be like that, but for Alien 3. It would have the aesthetic of Aliens. It would have Ripley. It would have Hicks. He wouldn't be fucking dead yet. And it would have Newt, and she'd be like older, whatever. It would be cool. It'd be awesome. It would be great. And then fucking they got the ball rolling. They got the ball rolling.
Mm.
They were like, "Yeah, I want to make this movie." And they're like, "Oh no, we could see this movie being made. Yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe we'll write a blank check." And then fucking guy Ridley Scott is like, "Oh yes, I wanna make a sequel to Prometheus." And they're like, "Is it gonna have aliens in it?" He's like, "Not really." He's like, "Put aliens in it, we'll fund it." It's like, oh, okay. So they make it. It's Alien. Uh, uh, Alien Covenant. There we go. I like it. I like David. I love David. David's
Mm-hmm.
my favorite part of the Alien
We
franchise.
all love David.
Thank you. But fuck if I'm not pissed that Alien 5/3 didn't get made, right?
Mm.
I've been telling you this since like 2015.
Yep.
So I had to get that out of my chest. So I hear Amazon or Hulu. No, Hulu.
Oh.
Hulu's making a TV series about Alien, right?
Yes.
And the guy he's like, oh, I want it to be on Earth, and I want to show like what it's like when aliens are on Earth, and there's gonna be all like corporate greed, da da da, and everyone on
Uh.
Twitter was like, oh God, why can't they take the politics out of Alien? Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's exciting, whatever. But you know what? It doesn't scratch my itch because we didn't get a sequel to Alien Covenant, and we definitely aren't getting like Alien 3/5 or 5/3.
Right.
And then, you motherfucker, I read a week and a half ago that they're making another Alien fuck ass movie.
Oh.
And guess who's not fucking directing it? Neil Blomkamp.
Oof.
In fact, they are going, I would say, in a more horror oriented route because they picked Fede Alvarez to direct it.
Yeesh.
And you know who Fede Alvarez is?
No.
So, Fede Alvarez is a
Mm.
Uruguayan. Am I pronouncing it? Did I put enough, you know, accent on there? Uruguay. Uruguay.
Yes.
Uruguay. Thank you, baby. Uruguay. You know what? No. I'm not. So he's a Uruguayan filmmaker,
Yeah.
and he came onto the American scene with the Evil Dead remake.
Okay. Okay.
And then he had another banger, which I think was probably one of the better horror films of the 2010s, Don't Breathe.
Mm.
So he wrote and directed both of these.
Understood.
Um, he had kind of a shite ass movie, Girl in the Spider's Web. It was it was one of the Stieg Larsson Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Ooh.
I don't know if I can really do an autopsy on it because I haven't seen it. I don't really want to see it. The only thing I can think of is how good in comparison David Fincher's movie is,
Okay.
and how much Girl in the Spider's Web made the uh, the franchise kind of feel like an airplane movie, right? Like one of
Mm-hmm.
those Swedish like airplane movies or whatever you see. Then he helped write some of Don't Breathe too, and then apparently he did the story for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which you know what I've seen and I want to discuss with you as soon as you see it. It's not good. It's not good at all.
you
It
want
is.
you want me to watch it?
I want you to watch it. I really want you to watch it because this is, I think, the first genuinely unsuccessful requel.
Mm.
Like, genuinely.
Got it.
Vaginuinely.
Mm.
Um, it's not good. It's not good at all. I like Fede Alvarez, despite the fact that I was like kind of harping on Texas Chainsaw Massacre and girl with the spider in her hair, whatever. I do like him. Uh, I'm interested in seeing what he does because he is writing and directing it. He has a particularly pretty suspenseful directing style.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I don't know if it still holds up, but I remember enjoying Evil Dead. I do think Don't Breathe does hold up. The character's a little too rapey for me, but I do enjoy it nonetheless.
Uh-huh.
still a solid horror film. So I'm interested in seeing where they take the Alien franchise in his direction because he's writing, directing it,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
being produced by Ridley Scott. So I'm wondering, are they going to do like a sequel to Alien Covenant? Are they going to do another thing? Like, what are they going to do, huh?
Right.
What are they going to do? So yeah, I've been angry and I've been stewing and mulling over that for about a week. I haven't been able to vent it to anyone uh,
It's true.
because you've been spending your vacation yelling at people.
I really have, haven't I?
Yeah, you should be ashamed. So so there's that. Um, I have been reading more Game of Thrones. I'm about 500 pages, no,
Mhm.
450 something pages in. It's been a slow slog for me lately,
Mhm.
but I got to the famous scene where he's in the Jamie's in the tub, kind of confessing his case about what happened to the Mad King.
Uh-huh.
Really great, really
Mhm.
good. Um, Fucking loving it so far. I'm getting the feeling that I'm getting so much closer and closer to the Red Wedding. I can feel it. Like even if I wasn't a or show person who watched the show and then reading it, I get you. There's more clues that something is going to happen in the book than there are in the show. In the show, it's like you're just fucking walking in a park and you get hit in the head with a fucking random golf ball flying at you like 300 miles per hour. This is kind of like you can look up and you can see the golf ball when it's not being like obstructed by the sun,
Mhm.
and you're wondering, is that going to hit me? No. And then you keep walking, and by you walking forward a couple steps, it hits you in the face, and so far.
Yeah.
Bad analogy, but back on track. Um, a testament to the writing that I really like is in the same chapter. Uh, they I think they split this scene apart in the episode, but in the Jamie chapter, he does the bath thing with Brienne. He confesses to her in a state of vulnerability that like, no, I I broke my vows for a reason, and I hate being called the Kingslayer, and yada yada. And then he has dinner with Brienne with Roose Bolton, and Roose Bolton's squire is Wyman Frey, I think. I doesn't fucking matter. He's pissant.
Mm.
But I was wondering where the fuck I recognized the name of this character. Um, and then I looked it up because it was killing me, and I didn't want to go back to the other chapters in the other fucking books. And in these chapters, before I go into what I looked up, they talk about, oh well, we're kind of pissed because Sir. I'm just gonna call him Wyman, okay?
Yeah.
Wyman was betrothed to Arya, and Lord
Hmm.
Frey reneged on this betrothal proposal or this proposal,
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh wait, fuck, wait, I remember this. So I look up because I remembered something from the second book, and this is fucking great. So I look up in the second book on a wiki of Fire and Ice, one of Arya's chapters in the second book. She is she's wandering the Riverlands. She gets captured. She is under the watch of Lannister forces in Harrenhal, and
Mhm.
then a character who's not in the show. They're like mercenaries. They're brought into Harrenhal and free some of the Stark forces prisoners, and then
Mm.
overthrow the castle. And now it's under Bolton control. So instead of in the
Right.
show, it's almost entirely Lannister. She kind of changes hands a little bit.
Okay.
So she meets this squire, and he's crying because he doesn't get to marry a princess. And I didn't fucking realize what that was until reading this chapter in the book. And I looked the shit up, and he's referenced in the 3 books that I've been reading, and I didn't fucking realize. When Rob has to cross the twins, he sends Catelyn, his mother, to negotiate with Walder Frey, and Catelyn comes back and says, "Rob, you're going to be fucking marrying a Frey," and he's like, "Ah, fuck." I mean, what they say in the book and not the show is that Arya is also betrothed to one of the Freys, and they
Mm.
name the character, and it's Weimer or whatever his name is.
Mm.
Um, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I completely missed that," because like all of the names they were throwing at me, I didn't even fucking realize.
Yeah. A lot of fucking names.
Um, and then I thought it was so fucking amazing, um, that they briefly mention this character in passing in the second book, because Arya and him are at Harrenhal together, and she doesn't divulge her identity to the Lannister forces or the Bolton forces.
Oh.
She's just the fucking like the chambermaid, or the fucking the cupbearer for Tywin and Bolton, and no one
Mm.
fucking knows. I think that's fucking great. And then we get a little bit of like, oh, he's mad in the third book because he was supposed to marry what's his name
Yeah.
or what's her name. I don't know. I just think it's fucking great. I love that shit.
Cool.
So that's super fucking fun.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking forward to seeing the other half of this book, because I think I'm coming to pretty much the end of what would be season 3,
Mm.
and I'm coming to the beginning of what would be season 4, because season 3 and season
Mm.
4 are just book 3.
Okay.
And it seems as though Oberyn Martell is introduced earlier. So he's introduced as what I can imagine would be like episode 8, season 3,
Mm.
instead of like, but they had to do it. It would just, what they did for season 4, I thought was a solid idea.
Yeah.
Introducing him a little bit later. It doesn't seem as though he's going to have too much of an impact on the book just yet. And there are some things that they neatly kind of parted left and right to fit in the third season and fit in the fourth season kind of neatly.
Fair enough.
So yeah, interested in that. And I recently started my political philosophy class, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of going over the basics of philosophy. We're doing all the typical shit like Plato and Socrates.
Mm.
And so yesterday I was reading fuck, what is it? It's from the Republic. It's on justice.
Okay.
I'll get to a point on this. There's a point that I was telling Stace that I thought was funny, and I wanted to tell you because it made me fucking giggle. uh, so he's talking with, oh god, what is his name? He has 3 people that he's talking with. He's talking with, this is in reverse: Thrasymachus, Polemarchus, and baby, what's the person's name? It sounds like an STD. Cephalus. Thank you. Um, so he talks to Cephalus first, and he's like, "What's justice, bitch?" And Cephalus is like, "If there are any fucking philosophy majors listening to this, I'm so sorry. I'm just telling this for the sake of
Mm.
fucking fun." He's like, "Justice is fulfilling one's obligations and not being indebted." And Socrates is like, "Huh, that's interesting. What if fucking because you're a weapons manufacturer, you produce like shields and spears and armor for Athens. What if you owed a friend of yours a debt, and that friend went mad, and he came up to you and asked you for a sword, and you knew in good faith, and you knew that if you gave him this sword, he would kill someone. Is that justice?" He's like, fuck, you're right. God damn it. No, he doesn't really say it. He's kind of like,
Okay.
whatever, Socrates, you fucking fool. Then he goes to Paul Marcus. Paul Marcus is like, "Oh, what's justice? Justice is giving every man his due." It's 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 fucking being good to your friends and being awful to your enemies, or doing good by your friends and doing bad by your enemies. And they're like, "Well, how the fuck do you know like who your friends are and who your enemies are? And like, isn't that kind of relative?" And he's like, "Ah, but fuck you though. Like,
Right.
is a man is a man's only due when he's at war? Because typically the most someone is uh is giving benefit to their friends and hurting their enemies in times of war. So is that the only time?" And then Thrasymachus is like, "All right, bitch, you've been judging fucking everyone's philosophy of justice. Why don't we fucking hear yours?" And then Socrates is like, How about we hear yours first?" And Thrasymachus is like, Oh boy, I've been waiting to pretend to be smarter than you. Justice is whoever's on top says it is." And then I
Mm.
can't remember what fucking Socrates said. But this entire time, I was thinking to myself, how could you make this a movie? Like, how could you make this into something like dramatic?
Uh,
And I remember thinking to myself, like, who would play Socrates? And I know you're thinking, like, oh, this is going to be like oh, let's cast Socrates things. But no, I was thinking, who could fulfill the role of like a fat, old, dirty hobo who wrestles?
Nicolas Cage.
Shut the fuck up here. It's good. I like that though. I
Hmm.
could see it. He's close. He's close too. No, but like then I was thinking to myself, wait, wait. Instead of playing this dry, like a no offense, instead of like playing it dry like Shakespeare,
Hmm.
um, you would play it like WWE
Oh,
because Socrates is an accomplished like Greco-Roman, not Greco-Roman at the time, but he's an accomplished wrestler.
okay.
Like he's capable. At the time he was very capable. But I was thinking to myself while I was hearing what Socrates was saying, for some fucking reason, I thought of the boulder. The
Yes.
boulder has reservations with fighting a child. The boulder no longer has those reservations.
Hmm.
I was just thinking of like this really buff dude doing like these really weird, like dramatic poses. And I was just thinking of Socrates like, you cannot base justice off of fulfilling one's obligations. That
Right.
is not justice. And you got like that the bone saw thing, right? Where he's
Yes.
doing like these poses and he's like in a fucking leotard
Yep.
doing like threatening sounds. And I'm like, fucking nailed it. We fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
Give whoever wants to make that fucking movie $200 million. Throw in fucking spaceships too.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun stuff. I've been going over that. Funny enough, my least entertaining class.
Really.
Least entertaining. I've taken my Western Civ class twice because I want to get a better grade in it. I have ASL, and now I have fucking political philosophy.
Least
And
favorite class.
I will say this. I will say this.
Hmm.
I find it I'm gonna kick myself in the face because I'm terrible at these. But like when you have a philosophy class and instead of doing tests in class,
Hmm.
they make the professor makes you do one right before class, so like on your own time, which is fine. It's like they're online classes. We're still dealing with the fucking ass end of COVID. Um,
Yeah.
but what gets me is that the tests are multiple choice. You stance you
Yes.
following me?
Yep.
Like a philosophy class
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you have to vocalize or not vocalize, convey like what is truth? What does it mean to live justly? What is justice? Like what's the point behind the ring of Gyges or like Fucking yeah. Fucking what's what is Socrates trying to do in the apology? Is he A, trying to sniff asses? Is he B, trying to apologize for his mistakes? Is he C, being a smartass and defending his mistakes? Or R, is he? Yeah, I just it's
Oh,
it. I've never equated multiple choice to something that you should do with philosophy. It just doesn't mix, in my
yeah,
opinion, at least. Granted, I don't want to write 3 paragraphs about like the fucking ring of Gyges, but it would make sense.
yeah,
It would make sense. I feel like I'm not getting the philosophy experience I should be getting. My
right.
girlfriend's just nodding her head up and down because she got the obviously better experience. She just wants to rub it in my face.
Yeah, I
It's,
also got the better experience too.
yeah, fuck you.
I'm kidding. I didn't take any philosophy class. The
Hey,
fuck?
you say that. And those night classes are going to be pretty good. I like learning.
Yeah, no,
Like
I
maybe
get
not
it.
necessarily learning itself, but like the idea of no, I like learning. I do.
Yeah,
I like being in class. I like hearing someone moderately entertaining talking
yeah.
with their shit together. They can have a fucking PowerPoint. They can toss around ideas like a football. They can ask you to do notes or not. I don't give a shit. I enjoy it,
Yep.
especially if like I can understand what's going on. And I've had this is one such professor where it's like scatterbrain, like
Mm-hmm.
notes that make no fucking sense or like aren't really meant for note taking
Right.
and just like I don't have my shit together at all.
Mm.
At all.
No, this is a good
I was
segue to our sponsor, Curiosity Stream. I'm just kidding.
shut the no, it's Nebula, god damn it.
Oh,
Fucking Raid
Nebula.
Shadow Legends.
Oh, God. But
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so segueing.
Yes.
Um, did we want to move on from there?
It
Elmar Frey. Elmar
Elmore
Frey.
Frey
Yes.
is who?
He's the as part of the pact sealed during the parley between Catelyn Stark and Lord Wolves of Frey,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Elmar is promised to Arya Stark.
Okay,
Book
got it, got it.
2, Elmar squires for Lord Roose Bolton and is part of his army when it takes Harrenhal. There, he frequently interacts with his betrothed, Arya Stark, who has assumed the identity Nan, or Non for Non and Curry, leaving Elmar unaware of the fact. When Elmar learns that his betrothal to Arya, his princess, has been called off due to Robb Stark's marriage to Jane Westerling, he cries about losing his princess.
That makes
And
sense.
then Book 3, Elmar remains at Harrenhal to serve Roose Bolton. He serves as Bolton's cupbearer when Roose Bolton hosts Sir Jaime and Brienne. And that's it. I just thought it was fucking the little tiny little testicle acorn was planted, and then like clue here, clue there, and that's it. I like that
Yep.
little nice little bit of interconnectedness.
Fair enough.
And on that note,
Yes.
what next?
Can you give me the details of Picard?
Picard. Okay. Uh, this season seems to be a let's fuck with Jean-Luc Picard season. Uh, so I'm going to be briefly going over the first episode, my thoughts and impressions. I'm not going to be reviewing the series until the last episode is out.
Right.
But I just wanted to kind of dip my toes in and talk about the first episode. Um, the first episode follows Jean-Luc Picard. It's after like 6 months or a year, whenever after the events of the first season, um, and a rift in space opens up, and it appears to be this Borg like I'll explain all this once I'm done. Borg like entity who people assume is a queen coming through, taking control of a ship that Picard is on. Uh, there's a sense of urgency. They blow up the ship. everyone thinks that everyone's dead, except Picard wakes up back at his chateau
Mm.
in Le Bar, France, and he's greeted by none other than Q. Q is again, I'll get into all the fucking backstory bullshit. I'll be quick about it too. Um, Q is like, "Oh, Mon Capitan, I, the space jester, want to fuck with you a little more, but I think I have some kind of Alzheimer's or dementia, so I'm gonna
Mm.
fuck with you even harder."
Yep. Yep.
And essentially transports Jean-Luc Picard to the evil universe.
Okay.
Yeah. So, uh, that's the shit explanation for the episode. But
Okay.
I want to actually get into the clear cut of it. Um, this was actually a solid episode. Um, I feel as though the first parts of it were trying to be like Picard, like they wanted to grab him by the arms, and they're like, "Why don't you want to have a family?" And they really want to milk the what makes you go to the stars, and there's clearly some kind of family issue that they're finally inserting into it now after like 50 fucking years almost.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not a fan particularly. Um, I don't really think he needed an explanation. He could have literally just been the one kid who just kind of wants to be left alone, instead of
Mm-hmm.
it being like, oh, I had a tenuous relationship with my father and a weird relationship with my mother, who we've never, I don't think, ever really interacted with.
Mm-hmm.
And she just gets name dropped a shitload of times in this episode, and we see her. And there's some weird thing with the Borg that quotes his mother, even though it's like, oh wow, what the fuck is that? Um, so that's a little weird, but I'm not gonna say it's bad or anything at the moment. I'm interested in seeing where that goes. Um, I'm just a little apprehensive about like the kind of it feels like mythologizing a little bit Picard. I'm not the biggest fan of that.
Okay.
Anyway, all of our characters are split up. The Picard season one was I think like a one, two, three, about a 5 or 6 like roster show or 6 person show. They're all kind of spread out. You got like Captain Rios of his little smuggler ship. He's now back in Starfleet. He's a captain of the Stargazer. Uh, and then you have Dr. Girardi, who's helping one of her friends with like diplomatic relations. You got Raffi and Elnor. Uh, these are all characters who are introduced in Picard season one, who've kind of formed a friendship and are all now kind of doing their own thing. And about 10 minutes into the season premiere, the first episode, this rift in space opens. This is the important bit.
Right.
This is the bit that I think really works because we go from Picard's like life bullshit to this rift in space that opens up. And we're like, "Oh, that's kind of weird and whatever, but like okay." And then we see Seven of Nine's character who she's a robot semi cyber whatever person. She's taking care of a couple smugglers, and then she um, comes across this thing, and then Captain Rios' Stargazer ship, because he's Federation and it's in Federation space that this thing is opening up. He's scanning and reading uh, the vessel because he's been called away from a diplomatic mission that has Dr. Girardi on it. So all the characters are kind of like conveniently coming together. And Raffi is on another ship, the Excelsior, investigating because this is like a big thing. It's a fucking rift in space. And they decipher a message and it's like, help us, Picard, help us, Picard. And they're like, oh, well, that's fucking weird. So they
Mm.
get Picard and they're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is this? Oh, God, God, God. There's like a really palatable sense of suspense
Mm-hmm.
that I haven't felt in Star Trek in a long time that I liked. I don't know if it's because I was a fan and I knew what the Borg were or so on and so forth, or if It was genuinely good suspense, but there's all these questions about like, oh, what's this rift? Like, oh, we have to be careful and da 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 da. And then the ship comes out and it's a Borg ship. The Borg, if you don't know Harry, are like these mechanical organisms that like
Mm-hmm.
conquer other people and they assimilate them. And they
Brutal.
put on more like yeah, basically. Yeah. They're like robot zombies. Invader Zim, as my
Yeah.
girlfriend says, half asleep. Um, and so that makes the situation even worse because it's like this ship is like coming out of this fucking rift and it's slowly moving towards like a dozen Starfleet vessels. And like, oh fuck, we have to shoot it. Fuck. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Oh man. Oh fuck, they saying they're harmless, but like we can't trust the Borg because the Borg fuck over everything. Um, Picard's like, no, let's hear them out for once. And then they're like, "Oh, we'll put them at a standstill. We'll give them like a couple days." And then as they're fucking saying this, like a little mini shuttle comes over. They're like, "Oh fuck, what's going on? We told them not to do anything. Fuck, 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 fuck." And it sends over this queen, and the queen is like, "We mean you no harm," and then just fucking takes over the ship. And Picard does the self-destruct thing, and we have no idea what's fucking going on at all, at fucking all. It just seems like the Borg are escaping something. And if you know the fucking Borg, you know the Borg don't escape. The Borg don't run from things, which makes this tension all the more interesting because you're asking these questions like, oh fuck, what is this Borg ship doing running from another fucking universe here asking for Picard? And what the fuck is it doing with the ship? Picard activates the self destruct sequence, and as he does, it says, Picard, and then quotes his mother from a previous flashback, and then it fades to white, and then it or fades back into reality. I don't fucking know. But it shows Picard, and not only is he not on the Stargazer, he's back on Earth. He's back in La Barre, France. He's back in his chateau. Except things aren't quite right. He's in like this weird, like authoritarian black outfit. The comm badge is a little weird. All of the decorations in his chateau are a little fashy. A little like, oh hey, here are these weapons, and here's like this painting that makes you look like a badass with a goatee and battlefield and like murder behind you. And he's like, I don't remember putting that up. And then he talks to a robot who isn't his robot. He has no fucking clue who this thing is. And he's like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Who are you? And then right behind him, he's like, this person goes, oh, mon capitaine, ha ha ha, I am Q, ha ha, fuck you. Um, Q is a extra dimensional god, basically. The Q continuum is this environment that exists somewhere. We don't really know, but it's existed since the beginning of time, and Q, all of the inhabitants of the Q continuum are called Q, but the Q that we're familiar with um, is the one who began the series, The Next
Mm-hmm.
Generation. We meet him for the first time as he tries to judge uh, Jean Luc or Captain Picard,
Mm-hmm.
and here he seems a little more unhinged. He keeps talking about second chances, and here's the road not taken, and so on and so forth. He says, "Let me show you what this is," and the episode fades to black when he clicks his fingers. Um, Q likes fucking with people. He likes testing Picard, particularly. Picard is like essentially like the Captain America of this universe. It's like he'll never unwaver. He's always so principled and perfect, and so on and so forth. He's a philosopher. So Picard likes to fuck with him by like fucking altering the universe or like turning the ship into a fucking giant dandelion. Nah, it didn't fucking happen, but he could do it.
Yeah.
Um, using his godlike powers in like just the biggest like court jester dickhead kind of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And later it becomes clear that he's more of just an inconvenience and an annoyance to Picard, which I really like instead of him being like, "Oh man, this Q guy is a fucking threat and he's going to test the very fabric of my being." It's like he does that, but it's like he's just annoying.
Right.
Um so, the first episode I feel has an appropriate level of emotion, some character not maybe not foreshadowing, but what we're going to be getting from Picard this season in terms of character development or character depth. Um,
Mm.
and had a really great sense of tension that I liked. I'm hoping the series carries that and goes further in with it. Um, because this was a fun episode. It looked
Yeah.
good, it sounded good, it felt good, the character interactions were fun. Uh, I think Star Trek Picard is doing a pretty good job with its character roster. Like I said, there are about 6 actors, and the show mainly focuses on them. Primarily Picard, but it's a show that, with its ensemble, is about 6 people. Um, each one of them is fairly well defined. I want to see them get a little more in depth this season. And I'm also looking forward to the greater mystery. Uh, the first season, the mystery was fine, but I felt as though it was a bit of a misstep, a colossal misstep.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I will be talking about this probably in the next 10 weeks, 11 weeks.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, and then if I may, just because it's a slight tangent,
Yep.
I will be reviewing next week the entire season of Star Trek Discovery season 4. Um,
Okay.
oh man, this is a tough one. I remember what not even a year ago we talked about season 3 and some of my disappointments with it. I
Mm-hmm.
have largely, I think, the same disappointment, the same issues. Pacing, I think, is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Uh, I've mentioned this before, but I don't know how if you recall it. But I think the biggest bit that bothers me now that I've noticed is this show relies way too much on technobabble.
Mm.
So like technobabble.
Yes.
Say you're talking to me about maintenance, and you mention a whole bunch of maintenance shit, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
you solved the issue. That's that, but for Star Trek.
Okay.
All of all of Star Trek has used technobabble to some degree. Technobabble is like,
Mm.
oh, if we reconvert the power relays in the isolinear chip and the da 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 da, it's like all of these like weird science-y sounding words
Yeah.
to just explain stuff away. Um, Star Trek Voyager was pretty bad about that, I think, in my opinion. Star Trek Enterprise did, I think, a better job. The new movie Star Trek's completely fucking what? We don't know what science words are, so that's fine. But Star Trek Discovery has been using it to a degree that I think takes away the tension and the drama.
Okay.
And it really starts to bother me now the more that I think about it. I might actually go back and watch the other seasons just to kind of get a feel. But
Mm-hmm.
I will get in depth with it next week. I will not talk about it anymore because I do not want to talk too much about something that you haven't seen, so that we can keep the input to a nice even amount.
Okay. He's really good
Oh,
about me.
hey, I always think about you when I go to sleep, when I wake up. No, I'm kidding. So,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
Next. Let's so I haven't finished it yet. You have, I'm guessing. Let's dabble a little bit into Peacemaker. I'll
Ooh,
start. I like it, you're right.
good.
It is quite funny. I've
Hmm.
had my giggles. And I have seen what you're talking about when it comes to John Cena's acting. and just the actual like non-comedy, like the serious parts of the show,
Yeah.
and they're really good. They hit
Oh yeah.
well. Um, especially like I was saying, where I'm at right now, like there's some parts where basically uh Peacemaker walks up and asks, "Hey, what's on the file about um my brother?"
Oh, about me and my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, and she tells him like, "Oh, we just know that he died and you were a part of it or something like that." And he's like, "Okay."
Mhm.
And like and he's like 100% serious, he wasn't like there for anything but, you know what I mean? Like, and then when he's like remembering that stuff, and yeah, it does get serious, and like towards the, like you were saying, like I think it's the first episode when he's talking to his dad about how um like that group he's in, and how he just always puts him down and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's good. It's good, like
Oh yeah.
the series, the plot's there, and it's really like you can see his transformation of like always being told like this is what your life is, what his
Mhm.
dad raised him to be, compared to like what he's kind of slowly started figuring out. And I think that is something you get to see at the very end of um the movie
Mhm.
Suicide Squad, in the very end, when he kills what's his face, the guy, he kills him, and you can see in his face, right, he's like, uh when he says, wow, I forgot what the quote he says is, Peacemaker, um what a joke.
What a joke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
um you can see in his face, he's just like, and it's great that they bring that back during the show.
Mhm.
you know it really, like, it really stuck to him what he said to
What
him,
he said.
you
Yeah.
know
And
and
it's clear that, like, even in the movie,
mhm,
he does look up to that character, Rick Flag.
yeah. So I don't know, I just think that was really good. I think they really did it at the end with Suicide Squad, and they kept it going through the show. I obviously I'm having my, my giggles here and there with the jokes. Livy did say some of the jokes go a little too long, like they like really press the joke, and then sometimes it's like
Yeah.
they like over explain a joke, you know. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
get you.
yeah, like I get it, right? I get it. Sometimes they might go a little too far. I'm okay with it, I'm enjoying the show. Um, but I understand if someone feels that way. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna blame you. They sometimes do. Um, but yeah, I like it though. I think it's a really good show. I'm excited to continue watching it, see the ending. It just sucks that it's a DC film or DC series. Um, we're gonna get into the Batman later, but like after watching the fucking Justice League movie, I'm not still like, I don't know, man. Like it just seems like where Suicide Squad is at,
Mhm.
I can't see them entering a world that the Justice League is in.
Yeah, I know. I get
Like
you.
I can't see them, especially Peacemaker, be a part of what the Batman is, or Aquaman, or the Flash, or what's the other,
I could
the Rock movie,
yeah,
um
Black Adam.
yeah, like I can't, like, they're like two completely different worlds, unlike what Marvel's been doing, like Hawkeye, Loki, you name any of the shows that they've been coming out with, WandaVision, uh Falcon Winter Soldier, like all of those, like you can tell they're part of the Marvel universe. You know,
Mhm.
um, you can see it going into the Marvel universe, where both Suicide Squad movies. I haven't seen the one the movie with Harley Quinn and all the female
Birds of Prey.
actors.
Birds of
Birds of
Prey,
Prey.
I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, like I haven't seen that one, but it just seems like the Suicide Squad movies, especially the second one, I just can't see as a DC like part of the DC world. You know, like it's too comedic. You
Mm.
know, like they
I
really.
think yeah.
I
Yeah,
f-
I
I
get you.
f- I feel like they went a little too like it's fine on its own, right? Like the way they created Peacemaker, and the other characters, like it's comedic, it's fine, but like I don't know, I can't. Because it just seems like DC is just better being a since they're not owned by Disney, they can really go dark, like
Mhm.
very dark. And like I said, we're gonna talk about the Batman soon. They can go dark and gritty and be good.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's what they need to do because the whole comedy thing, I think Marvel just has like I just and I'm also I think okay with the Suicide Squad like world never really being a part of like
Yeah,
the
one
the the
specific universe.
yeah, like I think like they can acknowledge like they can talk about like they do, right? They talk about Batman, they talk about Superman, you know, but you never see them. You never
Aquaman wants to fuck dolphins.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that like I can acknowledge that them being in the same universe, but like and I'm okay with them never interacting with any of those characters, right? I think that's cool. I think that that's fine. It's kind of like Deadpool, where he would talk about
Mhm.
the X-Men, but like I mean they did throw in that joke in the second one, but it's
Yeah,
like they never really like show him with the X-Men, you know? Um
yeah.
it's like just one of those things, right? Um I think it's cool. I think it'd be okay if that was the case with Suicide Squad. Like,
Mhm.
they are the really R-rated, brutal, you know, cursing and very, like I don't know, the actual like I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with it. It's just that, right?
You're good. You're good. I'm
I'm
hearing you.
okay with them being that. I think it's fine. If they try to incorporate it with the rest of the DC universe, I think it's going to go bad. I don't
Mhm.
think it will go well. Um, and that's my thoughts so far. Again, I haven't finished it yet,
Okay.
but so far I like it. I think it's funny. I think the serious moments are serious, and I take them serious. And I like where they're going with the show.
Mhm.
Mm,
Good. All right.
yeah,
Okay. Wait till you see the next 2 episodes.
yeah, excited.
Yeah, good. Good, good, good. I, I think, you and I have talked about this where the DC, especially after their failed start, not failed. Yeah, their failed start. Their
Hmm.
rocky start. I don't think they can really do the DCEU that they wanted to do.
Yeah,
Uh, they can't have like 3 or 4 fucking movies a year, like or at least they're not doing it yet, and they're all part of the same universe and yada yada, so on and so forth. But what it looks like they have been doing is consistently making DC like movies,
yeah,
and that's interesting. Um, there doesn't seem to be much like unification in there, and I think that's kind of helped some of their branding a little bit. Their it definitely feels like the artistic vision isn't destroyed or steamrolled for like something that has to fit in. Like, oh, we have to reference like, fucking, Plastic Man, or we have to reference fucking Black Adam, or like, like we have to have something that completely references like this moment. Like, I do find that as a nice change of pace. Um,
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I actually can see uh Peacemaker in the weird Snyderverse, I guess.
Okay.
Um, I honestly think, because I can feel the Guardians of the Galaxy how do I want to put it, like tragic comedy,
Yeah.
because there's a reason in a lot of ways James Gunn amps up the comedy in his stuff is because like strong comedy can bring about strong like tragedy. You can amplify like
Mm.
feeling sad and feeling sorrow when something can be funny as well.
Yeah.
And I definitely got that with this,
Okay.
right? When he's
Mhm.
sitting down with his father and it's like, okay, where's this going? This is funny, but where's it going? And then it completely flips on a dime. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't come across as a show that isn't unintentionally funny. Granted, I get you, some of the jokes don't quite work. I do, however, think that the jokes are consistently funny for me, at least.
Mhm.
But I can understand how that might be a bit of like a whiplash. Like you have this, and then you have fucking Dark Knight or Batman, the
Yeah.
Batman, which is like the least fucking funny superhero movie I've seen in a long goddamn time.
Yeah.
Like it is unfunny.
Mhm.
Anyway, I can see it. I think James Gunn imbued a bit of life into the DCEU. Like,
Mhm.
um, Shazam was good, Wonder Woman was good, Aquaman was enjoyable, uh, but like Wonder Woman 1984 was not good at all. You and I were talking about Snyder's Justice League, and like it's a slightly better movie that's just way too fucking long.
Yeah.
And it's like, sure, yeah, like, oh yeah, Zack Snyder's vindicated because he gets to make his fucking movie, but like, it doesn't resuscitate anything. So I feel
Yeah.
like James Gunn's like comedy in there really helps the I can't believe I'm saying this because I complain left and right about like the copy and paste like humor every 5 seconds that the MCU wants to do. But I do think the comedy kind of worked in this sense, in this
Mhm.
series at least. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't have too many fully formed ideas on this yet, but I just know that there are parts of this that I really did enjoy. This felt like a James Gunn production too.
Okay.
The first thing that I saw of James Gunn that I loved was Slither,
Right. You told me that.
and it had like this not necessarily low budget, but kind of monster of the week, inspired by some like bad late 70s, early 80s movies.
Okay.
And I definitely got that vibe with this, some of that homage. The
Mm.
characters are cool. I like them. Uh, Diebeard is funny. I
Mhm.
kind of like his like I'm a loser kind of character.
Yeah.
Autobio, her being the like I'm good at this, but I don't want to be kind of thing is fun. Um, Harcourt being like the the child turned monster uh task force esque agent is good. I liked Myrn. I
Mhm.
want more of Myrn. I like
Okay.
the I'm trying to smile more and have a new outlook on life and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. I liked his performance. He did a really good job with like the steely, uh, emotionless kind of character. I like the premise too. You know what? I even like the morally all over the place vigilante. I love when they fucking pull his mask off and he's doing the facial exercises
Mm-hmm.
and he keeps bitching about his fucking toe. Yeah, I can understand how that might be a little like silly. But god, it's really juxtaposed, right? Where it's like you have a series which is like we get that this is funny
Yeah.
and this is weird, but like we've had we've had 15 years of that almost where
Mm-hmm.
it's like we don't take this seriously because the premise is outrageous, right?
Yeah.
Like how many times can you do uh a Peacemaker or like an Iron Man? Or, not saying that they're the same, but like how many times can you do that where it's like you have a character who's like, "Oh, I get it. It's silly. It's so weird." Da 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 da. And then you have Batman where it's like it does not flinch at how it perceives itself at
Yeah.
all. So I'm really interested in seeing your opinion on how this goes because it's like the comedic tragedy bit is really going to work in the next two episodes,
Okay.
and I don't think comedy takes away from the tragic parts,
Okay.
in my opinion. I know that, like you were saying, I know that the series like began as like this brooding, dark. We're gonna have less humor, da, 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 da. But like that didn't work. It was
Yeah.
just it's amazing because the Batman has about the same, if not less, humor than something like Batman versus Superman or The Man of Steel, and is
Mm-hmm.
more enjoyable and is about the same amount of gloom and doom.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of like a like a direct again, don't mean to be a dick, but like a director issue.
Oh, 100%. No, no, you're right
Yeah.
about. I
So
agree with that.
did you want to talk more about because I want to wait before we really get more into it. I want to wait for you to watch the other two episodes and then we'll
Yeah.
finish like getting more in depth. Did you want
Yes.
to talk about Batman?
Uh,
Or do you want to talk about one or
let's
two trailers?
let's talk about the trailers and then we'll go full delve into Batman.
Okay. So I'm not even gonna bring up fucking Strange New Worlds. Doesn't matter. We've talked about enough Star
Yeah.
Trek. Um so yesterday we got a dose of the Obi-Wan trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it looks pretty good. I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad Ewan McGregor's back. It's apparently Hayden Christensen's going to be back as well, as Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Um, it appears to be set about 10 or 12 years after Revenge of the Sith, with Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi laying low in Tatooine. Seems like he's going to be going to a couple other planets as well, and possibly being hunted by the Inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
The Inquisitors are a relatively. I know that there are other Jedi hunters in the expanded stuff before Disney, but Disney is the one who like created the institution of not Disney. I'm sorry, the institution of the Inquisitors as an organization that hunts Jedi is something that happened under Disney. The Inquisitors are Force sensitives who are trained by Darth Vader and a couple other like turned Jedi and whatnot who hunt down Jedi. Um, there's a lot of talk in the trailer of, the Jedi can't help being the Jedi.
Yeah.
Their code, you know, uh, they you know they go to their code no matter what, and they seem to use it in a negative sense, as in we're going to use this to flesh out Jedi and murk the fuck out of them. We don't
Mm.
get much in the way of story. We do get the original actor who played Owen in the prequel, not the original, but the actor who played Owen, Uncle Owen, in the prequels. Joel Edgerton is going to come back. Ewan McGregor, as I said, I love me some Ewan McGregor. Um, it seems like the only noticeable exclusion is Jason Isaac. Jason Isaac is a British actor. Funny enough, he was in the first season of Star Trek Discovery. He voiced the Grand Inquisitor, the pale-skinned fellow with the red tattoos on his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
He voiced that character. I actually thought it would have been pretty fascinating if he actually acted that part, but I don't believe that's going to be the case. I'm
Right.
interested in seeing how this actor does. Um, we get a couple of interesting locations. We get the familiar Duel of the Fates, and
Yes.
that's about it. We really don't get much information. Uh, it's all really just speculative at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you interested at all at seeing this?
Oh yeah. Uh,
Really?
I mean, it's Hugh McGregor playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's hard not to
And
say
we
no to
love
that.
it. Come on, yeah, we love him.
Yeah. It's he, yeah. It's just yeah.
I think
That's all I can say.
he's the one who. Well, not he's the one. His character is probably like I think uh, kind of sidelined, but still kind of the heart of the franchise, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the the original trilogy makes him out to be this wise and immediately lovable mentor, and the prequels do a great job at making him this uh, lovable if misguided Jedi Master who, at the end of the franchise or at the end of the trilogy, still has a lot to learn.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing what he has to learn or what he does, or where they take him. Personally,
Mm,
I would be happy if he never uses his lightsaber in this entire fucking miniseries. It is going to be a
ooh.
miniseries. I don't know how many episodes, but thank God it's only going to be like one season, and
Yeah.
that's it. I don't think I could stomach them making a gigantic like franchise series thing out of this.
Mm-hmm.
One season is perfect. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I know what I would like to see in it, but
Yeah.
until we get more information, there's really not much to speculate on.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I just I would have really liked Qui-Gon Jinn voiceover. I would like Hayden Christensen voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't want to see Darth Vader. I Long story short, I would like max 5 episodes, minimum 4. Yeah, 4 or 5 would be perfect for me. I want a story of exactly what they were teasing in the trailer, right? You know, a
Right.
Jedi
Right.
can't help it. Like what does Obi-Wan have to do to be the guy that we see in A New Hope, right?
Yeah.
What does he have to do? Like I would love, like I said, I would love if the entire series he never ignites his lightsaber. I would love that.
That
I
would
would love it
be.
because there's a shot of like some gunplay, and I think I see Ewan McGregor, Obi Wan's character, using a blaster, and I would love that. I would love to see him use the Force as little as possible, and to get more like physicality with the character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People would hate that, I'm sure, because Star Wars is synonymous with like, oh, you have to use the Force, and oh, a Jedi has to have the lightsaber, a Jedi has to have the Force, and well, yeah, a Jedi has to have the Force, but like, of course, it has to be with a lightsaber. And I'm not
Yeah.
I want to disentangle that, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not. I don't need that to be something in a Star Wars show, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think every iteration of Star Wars has had some kind of glowing blade in some way or another, right? Like
Yeah.
the Han Solo movie when fucking the the arms guy has like the fucking knuckle blades and they're fucking like little lightsabers,
Yeah.
and then fucking the dark saber. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't need like I don't want to duel with him and Darth Vader. I don't want them to even fucking sniff one another. I want a small, contained, like this is what his life is like. This is an extreme moment where like maybe he has to come out of hiding for something really important, uh, and still can't be the Jedi, right? The
Yeah.
thing that like he's been hunted for. He's being hunted for.
Right.
That's what I want. That's all I want. I want like a slice of life, how he deals and how he decides to commit to another 10 years.
Right. Yeah. Slice of life. That would be cool. Um, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be upset if that's what we got. That would be cool.
Yeah. Because
I.
when I'm thinking to myself, like,
Yeah.
okay, well, what do you do with the character? Are you just making a story where you're making an excuse for like us to see Obi-Wan?
Right.
Because they did that with Boba Fett, and you and I, well, you've heard how I've talked about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I want there to be a reason the show is made.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it's
I
not.
want there to go ahead.
It's not just like a for fan service. Like, oh, here you go.
Yeah. Like, I need something. Like, I need Obi-Wan to have an arc.
Yeah.
I like maybe he's miserable. Maybe he's questioning why he's even watching over the kid. Like he cares about Luke, sure,
Right.
from afar, but like, does Owen even want him there? Is him being there even helping? Like,
Mm-hmm.
has he been there the whole time? Like, what does Obi-Wan Kenobi fucking want? Because at the end in the original trilogy, he's blind. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
blind to what the Jedi are, and he's blind to how that created Darth Vader.
Right.
And so, yeah, I get that another 10 years have gone by, but like, is that going to be the same Obi-Wan that we've known? In which case, is there something he can learn? Or is there a different part of his character that needs to go through an arc, something
Mm-hmm.
completely new that we haven't really. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I would want. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, honestly, if we could just get the Obi-Wan that we've had in the last two prequels, I'd be
Mhm.
happy. Like I'm not like honestly, I don't
Mhm.
have high hopes for it. I don't have a high expectation for it. I just want
I
a
you
good
know
show.
I feel like they are pulling some stops out for it though. It's a limited
Mm-hmm.
series. They seem to be putting um a little more money into the budget. I do
Mm-hmm.
get a slightly more prestigious vibe from it.
Okay, but we'll see.
And I do, yeah, I think it would be a shame if uh if Ewan McGregor's talents were wasted too. And Hayden Christensen, he got a lot of shit for his performance, and I would really like to see him show that he's more than that too.
You know what else? Where they fucked up?
Where?
They were releasing it on May 25th.
Oh wow! What
Literally 4 weeks. Like you could be like, oh, it's on a different like day of the week. Nah, exact same day on
the
May
fourth?
4th, but like 4 weeks
Oh
afterwards. Like you done fucked up.
God, that's disappointing.
Like really, really, dude. Same
That is
month. You're
so
off by
silly.
4
Why?
weeks.
Man, you know what? Never mind. I don't think we should watch this.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
God, What a fucking crapshoot.
Like, dude, you guys done fucked up. Like, you had one job and you couldn't do it.
May
Oh,
the May 24th be with you.
yeah. Like, come on,
God,
guys. Oh, oh well. I mean,
disappointment.
it is what it is. I guess whatever.
I guess
I
no one there thought quick enough.
right.
Yeah, well. Is there anything you would like to discuss about the Obi-Wan show?
No, just literally was. I just want Obi-Wan from the last two movies of the prequel trilogy, and
Yep,
that's it. If I can get that, I'm
that's it.
satisfied. Yep,
Yeah, I
I'm
get you.
fully satisfied with that.
I fucking hear you.
If I don't get that,
I'm gonna go to that guy. I'm gonna go to that guy. I'm gonna fucking bitch and moan. Ask
I
for the
I'm
manager.
just. I mean, I have. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Henry and bitch complain to him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna fucking do. Like
Oh
the
god.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. You fucker. You
Yeah.
fuck.
Um.
Oh my god. Vulgar bastard.
There's more trailers you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. I was just interested in this one just because it kind of caught my eye.
Yeah, and I've talked about it before.
Yeah. Um. It's David Licht's Bullet Train.
Oh yeah. It's Brad Pitt. Um, I know how
It's
to spell
David
Bullet Train.
Licht's Bullet Train.
Brad Pitt, Joey King,
It's
Sandra
David
Bullock.
Harry. Are you there?
Yeah, am I? Oh, hello, 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 hello,
Harry?
hello, hello. 1 sec. Hold on.
Harry?
2 seconds. My mic's not working. My mic
Harry?
is not working. Is the okay? So the recording could. All right, hold on, folks. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Two
Harry, how could
seconds.
you? Can't believe it.
Hold on. I'm gonna have to. Hello. Testing. We good? Hello.
Harry, how
Hello.
could you?
Okay. All right. For some reason,
Man,
Discord just didn't want to pick up my mic.
excuses. Excuse. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
God, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So I don't know.
David?
The recording was working just fine. Just
Yeah,
Discord just decided to be a little piece of shit. Um,
bastard.
I know, right? Oh, so I was saying Bullet Train, or you said Bullet Train, and I said that's the one with Brad Pitt, and then you kept saying, hold on, David Lynch's or Litch's
Lich,
Litch's
lich,
Litch's
lich.
Bullet Train, and I was like, yes, the one with Brad Pitt, Joey King. You're like David Lynch's Bullet Train. But anyways, wait, Lady Gaga's in it?
Yeah, Loggy Dada.
Oh wow, who's Bad Bunny?
I don't know. He's an ornery rabbit.
Aaron Taylor Johnson? Who's that?
I don't think. Wait, are we thinking of the same Bullet Train? Lady Gaga's not in this.
So Brad Pitt, Joey
Brad
King.
Pitt, Joey King, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian
And
Tyree Henry, Andrew Koji,
yeah,
Hiroyuki Sanada, Michael Shannon, Bad Bunny, Zazie Beetz, Masioka, Logan Lerman,
so I'm on
Karen
Google and it says Sandra Bullock's in
Fukuhara.
it and Lady Gaga's in it.
Sandra Bullock is in it. But hold on. We're almost there. Sandra Bullock joined the following year in February to replace Lady Gaga, who had scheduled
Oh,
conflicts with House of Gucky.
so Lady Gaga
Brad
was
Pitt
supposed to be in
performed
it.
the majority of his stunts in the film. Wow.
The majority of them, then not all of them. All right, he ain't no
No.
Tom Cruise.
he ain't no Tom Cruise. He ain't dangling out that speed bullet train.
Not at all.
So, Bullet Train is from David Licht. Licht.
Yep.
David Licht. He is famous for essentially coming up with fucking John Wick. I believe he was
Mm.
some kind of stunt performer
Mm.
who has a stunt performing background, and that's what makes a lot of his fucking movies fucking delicious
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact that the choreography is so goddamn good, or
Yes.
at least from what we've seen. He started with John Wick. He did Atomic Blonde, which was actually pretty good.
Mm.
Deadpool 2, which was fine. Hobbs and Shaw, I think that's it. Yeah. So he is directing what amounts to an action comedy featuring Brad Pitt, who is an old assassin, who is uh, pulled back into a job while he's on vacation in Japan on a bullet train
Okay.
to intercept some cargo. And on the way, he realizes that the cargo is a high priority because a lot of other assassins are after it.
Mm.
This seems like, again, like what something Liam Neeson would be in, right? Where it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, hey, honey, I'm retired. He's got like a daughter, and I'm out of this business. No more. And then someone's like, oh, do it or we'll kill your daughter. Like, that seems like the kind of movie, right? But
Yes.
uh, the more and more I watch this trailer and like the visual like style it has was so striking. One of the things that I noticed is I think they're using the same like put image on curtain and let natural light from curtain do the talking, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
There's this great moment where you see a lot of like within some of the cabins like sword fighting or people sitting down and the light is just pooled all over their faces in a way that like you wouldn't necessarily feel in a green screen environment.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Um I'm getting a very distinctive action vibe from it.
Mm.
Um Brad Pitt's, as it says, seems to be doing most of his stunts. It's very action heavy by the looks of it. Very well choreographed. There's this really entertaining bit where Bad Bunny seems to be like trying to stab Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt's defending himself with like a briefcase. We don't really know much about the story other than just the basics of it, not much the intricacies.
Yeah.
It does have a solid cast as we've read over all
Mm-mm.
these people. I get, you know what I kind of get the impression of?
Mm.
It feels kind of like a modern Smoking Aces,
Okay.
right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, here a bunch of quirky bad guys are going to go intercept this one area and do this thing, right?
Mm-mm.
So that seems interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Um, I can't get over like the some of the action sequences just from like the 1 second shots that they are look really fucking good, and I'm excited to see how it turns out. We've got about April, May, June, July. We've got about 4 months till it comes out. About a solid 4 months.
Okay.
So yeah, Benito Bad Bunny.
Interesting. Interesting.
Benito.
Uh.
Maria
Okay.
Beetle. Oh, I get it. The character's name is Ladybug, and she's Beetle. Oh,
Oh
God.
God, that reminds me. Side note. In our garden area, a bunch of what looks like ladybugs just like posted up on the post of the fence, and I think they're just withering and dying on it.
Wow, that's fucking awful. Thank you for that.
Yeah, like a bunch of them. At first, I was like, "Oh, they're all ladybugs," because I saw some ladybugs, but then like they didn't look like ladybugs, and then now, and that was like a few days ago, and now it just seems like they are all ladybugs that are just shriveling away, and I don't know why.
You have such a way with words, Harry.
Yeah.
Just
Anyways,
make things
that.
feel just so warm inside. I was just fucking with you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ladybug killer.
Any other trailers?
No, that's it for now.
That's it? All right. So we have reached that time, but I'm willing to extend.
Bum 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 bum. No, we'll do the review next week.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do it next week.
All right. All right.
All
Because
right.
it was good. I liked it. But
Damn straight.
yeah, we'll go into more detail
We'll do that
next
first
week.
thing.
Got it.
Spoiler alert, it was good, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll don't know what we're talking about some other time.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, if you like this show, if you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe on YouTube for our outro. You can hit us up at Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark. If you want to send us a comment, profess your undying love to us, sign your cast, you can email us at hittingthemark2020@gmail.com. And if you want to keep up to date on our second by second breakdowns of everything, you can hit us up on Twitter at capital H, capital T, capital M, yeah, underscore podcast. That's again capital H, capital T, capital M, underscore podcast, HTM underscore podcast. Folks, we like doing this. We love it when we do this. And we
Mm,
love to do this when we want.
yes.
I don't know where I was going with that. But you know what? Y'all have a wonderful night.
Bye bye.
Oh, wait, Harry, we forgot to talk about Ukraine.